morning everybody, and welcome back to Waffles RC. In today's video, as you could tell by the thumbnail, we're going to go over what to look for when buying something off of Marketplace. The reason why I'm doing this is I need filler material, or I just need to make a video because I have to get ready for Las Vegas for that thing. So that's been my main focus, but I bought this RC off of Facebook Marketplace. So I'm gonna just give you what my ideas are, or what to look for, how to upgrade it, and what to do with such a thing. That thing is still doing really good. I still have to chop the bumper and cut that plate that's holding the transfer case up, just to clean it up a little bit. But let me show you what I got off of the Marketplace. Welcome everybody to my Wraith. Let's quickly go over this thing. It has some issues, no controller. Let's just go through. I'll show you what I look for in things to look for. That makes no sense. I'll give you what my opinion is on what things to look at before turning the thing on and just doing a once over on it. So we're going to start by getting the plastic body off of this thing, or panels, I guess there are. First things that I have noticed with just taking the skins off of it, as you can tell, the plug is not plugging anymore. Well, I'm sure it still plugs, but it's not powering anything. So that's one issue. The other issue I have come across is it's going full Jeep Cherokee or Dana 35. If anybody gets that reference, we will have to remedy that. Yeah, I'll figure something out. Pretty sure the plastic of this end piece just broke off, so we'll figure out the Dana 35 issue. This side right here is fine. Front end feels pretty good. Servo feels good. So now let's get the interior out and start messing with electronics. Now we are to this point. Interior's off. Had to take some of the cage off. Once again, every RC is going to be different. This just happens to be the Wraith, where you have to take the cage apart to get the interior out to even get to the electronics. But I'm sure that there is somebody in the comments that is going to tell me an easier way to do it, but I didn't do that. This is my first time taking this thing apart. So in my opinion, there's two ways of going about this. You can resolder this joint and reuse the system that is in this, which is a brushed system by the looks of it. Yeah, it's a brush system. I personally am not a fan of brushed, so I'm going to be removing it. But you can fix the plug, plug it in, make sure the thing even works, and then go from there. But since I'm going to be replacing it, I don't care if any of this works. I'm taking it out. I'm going to get the transmission out, the ESC, and the receiver, which is on this particular vehicle, is right in here. I'm going to get all that out of there and start putting new stuff on. Actually, no. Fix it first. Motor is out. The ESC is out somewhere. I don't know where I put it already, but it's okay. I'm not using it because this has a brush motor. We will get to that in just a minute. Now that you're at this point with your RC mostly stripped down, clean it. It's just a good time. You have everything taken apart. You don't know where this thing has been. You have tons of access to absolutely everything. So it really doesn't hurt to just give it a quick wipe down, spray down, however you want to do it. That's the best way to do it. Let me give this thing a clean. I gotta get that receiver out of there. Here. So take this off. So there's that. There's that. Let's gently get the receiver out. Done. Also done. Once again, depending on the RC that you have, You want to carefully clean everything so that way, you know, you don't hurt anything, you don't break anything, but this is the best time to clean it. I'm currently in the process of showing everybody how to gently clean your new to you RC car. You have to clean it. Gently cleansed.
Gently cleansed.
I love the commentary because the microphone's on and so is the camera. Because now we have to gently dry it. So now we're going to work on the transmission while that is gently drying, or finish. It's going to finish drying because the leaf blower sucks. This is a stock transmission out of the Wraith. I am going to put a different motor in it, but for budget friendly sake, we're going to keep the transmission. So things you want to keep: the transmission and that pinion gear, because we know as of right now that pinion gear meshes up to this particular spur gear, which is an 80 tooth, which you can change all this stuff if you have the parts to do it. But if you're just trying to get this thing working, keep that pinion gear. So let's take ye old brush motor off. And I will say this also, me showing all this is mainly to show people what to look for when you're buying a used RC car. Stuff to go through, stuff to check, and then it all comes down to your budget. I have quite a lot of spare parts, so it's going to come across as it's easier for me to fix this stuff. But anything that does need to be fixed, I'll put links down in the description for any parts that I use to show, at least on this particular one, that there are parts available for them. So it was that quick and easy. I actually had the motor out before I started that last little spiel. But before we put the new motor on this, since we have this out, take it apart and grease the thing. Because at the end of the day, you don't know where this thing has been. You don't know how the person that you bought this from, how they took care of it. Did they take incredibly good care of it, or did they just run it till it broke? These are things that you don't know. So it's better to just take it all apart and figure out the answer to that question. And most of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. You find bolts, you undo them. Hopefully the thing comes apart, and fix anything that needs fixing, grease anything that looks like it needs grease. Basically anything with gears is going to need grease. Okay, let's separate this. And there we are. And as you can see, not a drop of grease in this thing. So we'll just take a little bit of time, put some grease on these gears, put it all back together. That is nice and greased up. And I just had a thought. Since we have the thing apart, if you have the availability to do so, probably be a good time to change all the bearings. In this particular case, there are 3 bearings in here. I believe, yep, there's another bearing in here. Just basically, as you take stuff apart, look for bearings and change them if you can. If not, run it. It's really that simple. What you can do is you can go on to the interwebs, and I will put a link for these. I've had really good luck with the fast eddy bearings. I know a lot of people agree with that. So I would say get you a set of fast eddy bearings for whichever vehicle you have just purchased. And then you'll have all replacement bearings, so that way everything works as it should. Wham bam. So then it just comes down to making sure everything is the correct size. But since I do not have the axial wraith bearing kit, I'm just hoping I can match some up and get new bearings in this thing. Let me figure this out and fight these bearings out of here, and we'll be right back. So for me, that was a pretty pointless endeavor because I replaced one bearing. But they felt fine, so hopefully it will be fine. Since it felt fine, you can only really do so much. So now, put it back together. I know I am jumping all over the place on this thing, but this is just how my brain works. So let's fix our Dana 35 issue. I don't know if that's actually doing anything. No, it's not. Okay, let's try a different approach. AR60 axles are a bit tricky to work on, or at least to get the axle shafts out in comparison to other ones, but take a few bolts out and there you go. So luckily for me, I just took apart some AR60 axles and turned one of them from a straight axle to a steering axle. So I have these, which on this one, the end piece is, well, broken. So what we are going to do to remedy this is we're going to put these on here with new axle shafts. We got that whole situation fixed, but this is another perfect example of why you go through these things, especially when you buy them for cheap off of Marketplace. This one we knew was doing the Dana 35 thing. This one seemed fine. Didn't move, everything was good. Allow me to demonstrate. It was not good. Now, you can tell when they mounted the rim onto here, it didn't sit down on the centering or the locking pin or whatever, it's a little pin thing that makes it rotate. That wasn't done correctly, so that is how you get that. See, even sometimes when you're taking these things apart, you find stuff you don't even realize. Especially when you haven't driven them yet. Probably drive it first before just doing all this. Don't listen to me. I'm not the right person to teach anybody any of this stuff. I usually build all my own, so trying to do this, it's kind of a guessing game, but hopefully someone will learn something. Next thing, this right here is a very good indication that this truck was, in fact, taken care of, because you can see, if I move it, there's grease there. Whoever had this before actually took good care of it by greasing up the gears. They don't feel bad, they don't seem bad, but we're going to wipe it off and put a whole ton more grease in there. Call it good. Now, this is a question that I do get asked quite a lot, honestly. What grease should I use on, well, the RC car? And the answer is going to vary depending on who you ask. There are a lot of very good grease companies out there that are specifically designed for RC car, waterproof, all that stuff. Now, me, being on the budget side of things and being quite cheap, me, not the not the grease or the RC, but I'm a very cheap person. I use the same exact grease that I use on my 1-to-1 trucks. Anytime I put grease on any of the trucks, this is what I use. Since I have it, I'm going to use it here because it's wheel bearing grease, so it's designed for high heat, and these things aren't going to get hot enough to really melt this stuff. Gonna get grease everywhere. Now, rear diff is essentially done. I repaired the issue that it had. I have taken the cover off, greased it, so now I'm going to repeat all said steps other than repairs on the front. So as you can see, I did some upgrading as well, but took the diff cover off, it's greased, everything's good. 2 points of interest, I don't know. If you're doing screws into metal, put Loctite on it. If you're doing it into plastic, don't go super tight. Once it stops, you're done. You don't want to strip out the plastic. So now that we're at this point, with everything all taken apart, everything like that, this is a perfect opportunity to go through and make sure everything is tight. Just do a quick once over on your shocks, your control arms, drive shafts, just anything that you can think of. Anywhere that you see a screw, just put a wrench on it, make sure everything is good and tight. And now, from one hoarder to another, all of these parts that I took off of this truck, don't throw them away. There's a squirrel. Way out there. I don't get distracted, you get distracted. Anyhow, don't throw away the parts because there's still good parts in here. Or these tires are actually still really good tires. I don't want to get rid of these tires. The rims, they're plastic. I'm gonna keep them. Worst come to worst, all of this stuff is good for mock-ups. But like axle shafts, if you break an axle shaft, you have a spare with you. If you carry spare parts like I do, because I drive these things till they break. I'm gonna go and put a wrench on every single bolt, see what else I can think of, and then we'll move on to the next step. Oh, well, hello there. It certainly has not been a few days. Work has been busy. Trying to get everything ready to go to Vegas has been busy, but we're back on the marketplace buy. But first, you will notice that I am sitting and I am taller, and the blue stool is right there. I got me a new stool and it has a backrest. That's right, we're living pretty large here. Top dollar earner here on the YouTube. Speaking of that, I'm not a good YouTuber. I have everything for this truck except for the one thing that makes it drive. I don't have a receiver, so that happened. But now we can get back to this and I'll show you what I've done so far. It has not come very far at all, other than the fact that I have my 2-in-1 brushless motor in there. Now there's not a lot of light, but when setting your gears, your pinion gear to your spur gear, so the little one to the big one, you want just a little bit of play, not too much and not super tight. So may the odds be ever in your favor with that, because I still don't do it correctly. There's smarter people out there in this YouTube world that can explain it a lot better than I can, so go watch them after this video though. Don't click away yet, we're not done. Now that we have our motor in there, I have to find a receiver somewhere, but the next step to making this a functional RC car is wheels and tires. Now, admittedly, this part is not so budget, I guess you would say. I bought these a while ago when I was building that mud truck, and I wasn't 100% certain on which wheel color I wanted to go with, so I had these ones as well. These are some big old boys. Now, like I said, these aren't cheap, not really going with the whole budget thing, but I have them, so I'm going to use them. But we'll compensate with the expense of these by using the old tires, because they are actually pretty good tires. I know I put them in a place. Let me find these, I'll be right back. Okay, I had them where I would for sure lose them, but we got them. See? So now I'm going to swap these tires onto these wheels. Alright guys, well that took some doing, but we got it as much together as I really want it. Did not put the skins on because they're down there and I want to paint them. Or I could just make metal ones for it because this thing looks kind of cool just caged like that. But anyhow, now let's go see how our budget purchase actually performs. Welcome to springtime in California. When I last was on the camera, so a couple days ago, it was 80 degrees. It's now raining and everything's wet, so we'll see how this does. There is something going on with the receiver that's in it, but let's just do what we can do, shall we? What the? Alright, so that grinding sound that you're hearing means that I did not have the mesh set up correctly. So let me fix that and we'll go for try 2. It's still acting funny, but at least the transmission's not grinding anymore. Well, it's a good start. Needs work. Can we do a donut? And it doesn't work. So to answer that question, no, we cannot do a donut. Well, for a relatively cheap buy, it's not bad. It needs a lot of work. I need a better receiver. This one is acting very funky. I don't like it. It could be also that motor that's messed up because I think I dug it out of my trash can, possibly. I don't remember. Might have to try another motor on it. It's not heavy enough for me. The steering is pathetically weak, and it's towed in really far. For the most part, this is what you should expect for a cheap marketplace buy. It's not going to be perfect. It may take a couple of tries of getting it to work correctly, but you'll still be cheaper than an RTR. Or at least that's how I'm looking at it. You can make your own decisions from there. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. When you guys are watching this, I'm already in Vegas with that thing. Now that I'm done with this, I have to go get that ready and get my car loaded so that I have everything I need to go to Vegas. So thank you all very much again, and we will see you next week with a video on that thing, doing some stuff. I don't know what yet. I haven't left for Vegas at this point in time. Welcome to the third dimension. Sorry, we have 3 dimensions. Welcome to the 5th dimension. Or 12th, depending on how crazy you are. Bye-bye. Sorry about the bad mic quality. I have it just on the camera. But for those of you who stayed late, you get to watch me struggle to get the semi in the trunk of a car. Yep, just taking my little RC out. There we go. Actually fits a lot better than I thought it would. Or not. I think it's in. See you next week.